By now you must know your father can never return from the dark side. So will it be.
Yeah. Good. We're meeting on Friday.
Soon I'll be dead. And you with me. Perhaps you refer to the imminent attack on your rebel fleet. I assure you, we are quite safe from your friends here.
Your overconfidence is your weakness.
Your faith in your friends is yours.
It is pointless to resist, my son.
It's Matty and Patty, coast to coast from Brooklyn. This is Pat McMenamin to San Francisco. It's Matt Younger. Say hello, Matty.
Hey, Patty. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. We have some evil to face this weekend, Matty.
That's right.
Are you ready to face it?
The greatest evil.
The greatest evil there is.
Oh, I'm ready.
Well, welcome to the Cleveland Sports Hour with Matty and Patty. We are two self-aware but unapologetic homers who spend far too much time watching, reading, and thinking about the Cavs, the Browns, and the Tribe. But this week, most of the Cavs. So if you like the informed, intelligent Cleveland fans' perspective, you've come to the right place. So Matty, the new Star Wars opened this past weekend.
What?
Yes, you didn't hear about this.
I didn't even know they were making a new Star Wars.
Yes, the timeless space opera of an unstoppable juggernaut taken down by a band of plucky freedom fighters. They got an update, and since every single media outlet except the ones that you're watching, Matty, is incorporating Star Wars marketing into their material, I figure why not us? But with the upcoming Christmas Day matchup against the Golden State Warriors, I couldn't help but think of this classic scene between Luke Skywalker and Emperor Palpatine. Because a lot of people think Golden State's power stems from their oozing confidence. And so I always think of this scene when I hear someone being super cocky and over the top. Your overconfidence is your weakness. Your faith in your friends is yours. However, I think they might be a little more like this is a spoiler alert here for anyone who still has not seen the movie and still gives a shit. They remind me a little more of Kylo Ren.
Ooh, Patty.
They get their power from perceived slights and fits of childish rage. Either way.
I think that's very apt.
Yeah, I agree. Either way, the Cavs face daunting odds on Christmas Day, and I don't like our chances.
No?
It's not without hope, but it's stranger things can happen, like in the lightsaber duels at the end of the Force Awakens. But look, anyway, this week we're going to focus the entire podcast on the matchup: Cavs Warriors Christmas Day. I mean, we'll also take a quick look at how the Cavs have fared in the week leading up to this big matchup. And we'll ask whether the return of Shump will be enough. Because, damn it, Matty, that boy was our last hope.
No, Pat, there's another.
There's another?
Come on, Pat. Kyrie's back.
Oh, of course. Of course. Kyrie Irving is back.
Come on now.
Well, yeah. I'm an old man. What can I say? I forget these things, and I just to show the commitment to excellence that I'm showing here, I'm willing to make myself look like an ass to work another Star Wars reference for fans there. Anyway, if we finish this up with enough time, I know we have a tight time frame here. We'll give our quick takes on the new Star Wars movie. Plus, and most importantly, how my son has learned everything he needs to know about being a Cleveland sports fan from the new Star Wars movie. Let's kick this off, shall we? Let's do some house cleaning first, Matty. Is your lovely, beautiful wife Mimi watching something in the background?
No, she's talking in the background.
Oh my God! Can we give her a stern look?
I'm giving her a stern look.
Excellent. I think we probably be doing the podcast by doing anything to offend your beautiful, wonderful, peerless wife. But speaking of the podcast, I've been thinking about the podcast lately. Recently at a holiday party, someone asked about this podcast or came up in course of conversation, and he started looking up on his phone in iTunes, and he just did a search for Cleveland sports. And Matty, do you know where we turned up?
Where?
6th.
What?
6th, like right behind like Cleveland Plain Dealer and I don't know who else, but if you search for Cleveland sports on iTunes, we're like the 6th result.
That's either very great or extremely sad.
I don't know. I think it's extremely great because no one's really listening to this podcast except our friends, which aren't that many because people don't like us. But it's a testament to our SEO power. We're marketing this thing the right way. But then I learned another lesson from this. My friend then lost all color in his face when he glanced at the average running times of our podcast.
Yeah.
You're asking for a huge commitment.
Yes.
So I said, you know what? You're probably right. And just final closing note on this. I did the drive to Cleveland again, there and back in 5 days. 2 days there, 2 days back, 1 day without driving. So I listened to a lot of podcasts on Star Wars, and there's this one podcast called the Star Wars Minute. It is literally a podcast devoted. Every single episode is devoted to one single minute of every Star Wars film from beginning to end. That's insanely nerdy.
That's really pushing it, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know what they did? Each episode is like 10 to 20 minutes.
Ah.
It's really palatable. You don't get too bogged down, and it kind of flows pretty quickly. So and that's a pretty popular podcast. It actually exists, and people actually follow it and are really into it. So there seems like there's a lesson there, Maddie.
You think you learned something?
I don't know. I've already spent 10 minutes blabbing about the podcast.
I was Patty, this is gonna be really hard for you.
I don't know if I can pull this off.
I'm down, but you editing yourself, I don't have a lot of confidence in.
Hey, you know what? If Luke Skywalker could bring Darth Vader back from the dark side, I think I can do the same for myself. So let's get right to it, Maddie.
Okay.
Before we get to the Warriors, what do you see in the last week? We had a big win against Boston, an even bigger, surprising win against Oklahoma City, and then the return of Kyrie Irving on Sunday. Now, again, we're recording this before the Knicks game on Wednesday night. Just for timing, we don't have time to do it later than that. So hopefully that all will go well there, or at least nothing earth-changing will happen. So given that, Natty, what are your big observations going into the matchup?
So one, Shumpert's really helpful for this team. Mm-hmm. We sort of knew that. We were worried about their perimeter defense, and I think he's come in and helped that right away.
Yeah.
How many times did you hear Isaiah Thomas's name during that Celtics game?
Oh my God, he had a horrible game. He had 3 points?
Not a whole lot, something like that. And Shump was great.
And to be fair, to interrupt you briefly, but to be fair, Mo wasn't playing that game, right? He was injured. So who started on him was Delly, and Delly did a decent job on him too. Delly started off on Isaiah Thomas and also did a good job. But go ahead.
So that pleased me. In general, in that matchup, I think the Celtics are a very well-coached team. They're deep. They can give you some problems. They don't worry me too much in the playoffs.
Yeah. I
think we can mess around with them, and their lack of a superstar is pretty glaring.
They're cowards.
So if they
these men are cowards.
If they get there, I was a little disappointed Kevin Love didn't rip Kelly Olynyk's arm off. But
yeah.
Now, what I was not disappointed in, Pat, this is an aside, but I think we need to talk about how amazing J.R. Smith's response was to if he was going to give Jay Crowder an apology. That's some of the highest quality J.R. Smith I have ever heard.
Oh, it was fantastic. First he just laughed, right, and said, no. He was a little more magnanimous after the game, right? But not so much.
Not really.
Kind of in a backhanded way. Well, he said he'll get it eventually.
I wouldn't hold it. He shouldn't hold his breath though.
Hold his breath.
I will say this: it takes a lot of balls to ask another man for an apology. He wants to get chippy. Things got chippy. That's what happened.
That's what happens. You
know
what you deserved. Yeah, he's absolutely right.
100% right.
100% right.
Oh, I was so pleased with him. So
pleased.
That was a fun takeaway. In general, from that game, though, great to have Shump back. I feel like we can do whatever we want with those. Not do whatever we want with those guys. They're better than that. But I felt good. I was exceedingly impressed with the win against Oklahoma City.
Absolutely.
No Shump, no Kyrie. I thought we were going to be in big trouble. It was going to be Westbrook all over us. Mm-hmm. That is a really impressive game, especially considering when fell behind by double digits in the first quarter or first half. Did it again in the third quarter. I sort of counted us out both those times. Early in the game, I was just like, well, they're just not going to have it tonight. This is too much, and they really got it out and played well. And this, despite my concerns, you and I didn't apparently squash our beef altogether.
Maddie, are we still fighting? I thought we reached rapprochement. last episode.
No, we didn't. We kept fighting after that last episode for sure.
True. That's true.
We definitely were still fighting.
Maddie, I'll just say this: were things worse last year at this time of year than they are now?
100%.
You were never this despairing last year, so it's caught me off guard. The stakes are higher, Patty. They were high last year.
No, there's the first year. We expected it to take some time. We didn't know if it was going to work. Now we know that it works.
But
the window is open. We've got this juggernaut against us that we're very concerned about.
But we also know we could turn the shit on in February, the way the Spurs always do. I don't
trust that.
Yeah, I did not expect this, and it's starting to stick in my craw.
Well,
because you and I don't actually disagree about most of the criticisms. I think we disagree on some of the severities, how likely the possible outcomes are, but what the fuck do we know?
Yeah, and how worried you should be as a Cavs. So, Pat, at the end of a game, if the Cavs are up by like 5 with a minute left, and there's some people who are like, game's over, this feels great. Yeah. And you're like, no, it's not. Doesn't feel great. A lot of bad things can happen.
Yeah, but
that's where I'm at right now.
That's in game, Matt. It must be like emotionally crippling to go through every day of your life.
Yeah.
We're going to blow this every single day of your life. I get on with my life, Maddie. And then when the games happen, that's why I sink into my despair moment of we're not up by 40 points. We're going to lose this game.
Well, I'm glad one of us is really taking this seriously, Pat.
Gee, I'm worried about you, Maddie. This is
You're walking around like one of the girls that went to high school with us in 1995 when the Indians suddenly got good. That's how you make me feel when you don't take this so seriously.
This is it. But this is how we get into fights, Maddie. You then take it to the extreme level of painting me as this guy that's saying everything's going to be all right. I'm not saying that. I'm just not going to say everything's shit. Game over, man. Game over.
I'm just worried.
If I'm going to do to you what you do to me, I will paint you as Bill Paxton in Aliens.
Well, Pat, then it's just an arms race.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep one-upping each other. Anyway, but to be clear about how I feel, I am very concerned. I see plenty of reasons to hope, and I am choosing to cling to those now. But once the games happen, I go right back to source, which is, we had like a lead we had a double-digit lead.
Yeah.
Late in the fourth quarter of that game, I was convinced we were going to lose.
Yeah, we really started coughing it up.
Oh, totally.
Dumb turnovers, as I recall.
Yes,
was a big problem.
So I was right with you in that, but like I just, man, I've got so much Cleveland sports to spare. I can't let it follow me every single day. I have to have reasons for hope. And honestly, and Maddie, you know what? Honestly, last year, even though we lost in the finals, I had that Winston Churchill episode moment where I said, "Fuck it, you know what? So what if we're gonna fucking lose? I'm not going into these games with that fucking bullshit attitude. I'm gonna go into this game with confidence, and I will lose that confidence as the game goes on. I will go to my shell, my fear bunker as the game goes on, but I'm not gonna fucking enter into it anymore like that. I'm just gonna fuck it. I'm gonna have confidence because you know what? We got nothing else." And we know what's going to happen. If I'm convinced that we're going to lose because we're the Cavs and because we're Cleveland, then I'm going to at least have a good fucking time while doing it. I'm going to go down fighting like a man. That's how I feel. So that maybe is informing my clinging to optimism. I think also I'm reacting to your overwhelming despair. I just have to do the opposite.
Overwhelming despair is too much. I feel like I'm expressing realistic concerns.
But your realistic concerns come across as a black hole of emptiness.
That's just to you.
I guess because there's a black hole inside me. So
you're ready. The dark side is calling to you all the time.
It's very reactive. Yes, I'm very forced response.
Calling to you constantly. You have to fight that battle every day.
You trigger the dark side in me. It's all there.
So anyway, that game when we got back into it, I was particularly worried because it felt like Love and TT, especially in the first half, were just getting played off the court.
Yes, first half they were completely. This is what started our fight. Was that TT and Love were playing some of the worst basketball. Well, they've been playing. This is how they've been playing a lot lately, right? They've been playing. Love's missing outside shots. Love's making bad passes and turnovers that aren't entirely his fault. Some of them are LeBron's, but like there's that communication. You're like, why don't you guys just get each other? And TT was just fucking invisible on the court, right? First half, but completely different story second half. No.
Yeah, TT especially came alive. Kevin Love never really. I mean, he had that crazy 4-point play and hit another big three, and that was great.
Well, but a lot of the times that TT was throwing on those monster jams, as TT himself pointed out, he was making those drives down the side that Kevin Love was on the outside, which kept the guy pinned away to help and all that stuff.
I was going to say more than the jams, though. It was his offensive rebounding is what made the biggest difference in that game.
That was vintage TT, and that's what we need him to do. And that's our answer to the athletic lineups, right?
I just need to see that all the time from him.
Agreed. Because, that
shouldn't take a night off. I understand, shooters, sometimes you have it, you don't have it on an individual night. But that effort thing, he's got to dial that up all the time.
What do you think it is? Because TT is the one kind of guy that I don't really worry about his effort and his focus. He's one of those guys that his head seems to be right all the time. See ball, get ball. Like, he's got the right focus. Has he been hurt? Has he just been out of sync? What do you think's been going on? Is he just not good enough?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if his defensive assignments are taking him, but that's not it, because his defensive rebounding has never been great. It's his offensive. I don't know.
Yeah,
I honestly don't know if teams, if bigger guys are able to keep him off the boards a little easier, because he's still not. I know he worked on his strength and conditioning, really specifically in the off season, but he's still pretty slender.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he's been trying to, muscle and box out, and then he just gets shoved out of position because he's never going to be that guy. What makes him so good, all of his rebounds, he was not in position. All the rebounds second half, I kept seeing him just knife through this certain lane, catch this angle, like
Andy style.
Yeah. I remember what I thought was preternatural about TT last year, and he said this, was he spends time watching the ball come off the rim. He's got a good sense of where it's going to go. And I feel like he does actually have an edge on people in the sense that he has a good knack for, here's where the ball's coming. I have a muscle memory of where it's going to bounce, and I move before it even hits the rim. You start seeing him do that. He starts moving before the ball hits the rim, and he happens to be in the right spot before anyone can react. Yeah. That's how he got his rebounds. And I feel like I think maybe he just psyched himself out about trying to change his game, and you don't want guys doing that when something works. Don't fucking fix it.
And I also took him as being just an effort player, that missing the preseason wouldn't really be a big deal for him.
Yeah. But
maybe it was. Yeah. I don't think that's impossible.
There's something to be said for that.
And that he needed to work himself back into that. I think that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I was happy with how they came through in the second half. Their play in the first half worried, because of that, the strength of the Thunder is not their front line.
Right.
Ibaka's good, but Steven Adams and Nick Collison and Enes Kanter.
Jesus.
Are not a front line that should be dominating our front line.
True, but one thing that's interesting is that Kevin Love is I think the core of our dispute, right? In terms of your despair, I feel like you're not as despairing on TT, although you have it hard on him. But it's Kevin Love who's got the max contract. It's Kevin Love who is really
we have higher expectations
athletic.
for Kevin Love,
sure,
right?
Sure,
we think
certainly.
Kevin Love's a better player than TT.
No, absolutely, he should be paid more, right? And he certainly has more skills. He just doesn't have his athleticism, and is that an Achilles heel that makes him more like, a slightly wealthier version of David Lee? I feel like that's your fear at the end of the day, is that he's going to be turning into David Lee, which is a worthless player that we can't play because he can't stay on the court.
That's correct.
Yeah. I think he's one smarter than David Lee. I'm giving you my optimistic stuff. I'm playing the foil here, right? So just understand. I understand Kevin Love's limitations.
And also the ultimate Cleveland thing that we had Andrew Wiggins, who looks pretty good too. Don't think that isn't floating around in the back of my head.
Oh, certainly. Although Wiggins, look, and I have a big bet going against our friend Jeff Versteeg about who's going to be the better offensive pro. And the point is, obviously, most of Wiggins' value is in his defense too. So, but
his offense has looked excellent.
Yes, but inefficient, I think, by all metrics, right?
Yeah. But he's 20 years old.
No, but that's the thing, and that's so it's not a sure deal yet. But no, I love Andrew Wiggins, and it's a tough thing. I still get why we did it. But Kevin Love can shoot threes. He has not been shooting them very well this year. He also has a quick release, which has been frustrating when he doesn't use it. He's got he's got the superstar quick release with the percentage that you're wondering where his shot went, and you just feel like it's going to come back because he had enough years in a row of it being a high percentage. And
he gets plenty of open looks too.
He does. He's been passing because his shot's just off. you got to feel like in the course of a long season, he's going to find his stroke back. It's a very streaky kind of thing. It's a confidence kind of thing. And he keeps saying how he feels the stroke better when he gets to like get on, under the basket and work from inside out. The concern then is, right, your concern, can he work from inside out when he's playing sorry, just a little kiss from the wife, middle of the podcast. Nice.
Any of the plus defenders.
Yeah, can't wait, especially lengthy guys with length, guys with the extra athleticism, and also just good defensive schemes that know how to like double down on him, right? And before he can get the ball handled. If he can't work from inside out, does he become worthless? And last year he wasn't worthless, even when he didn't play inside out, even though when we were wasting his talent, right? We were just using him as a really expensive version of Ryan Anderson, right? He made the team so much fucking better just by spacing the floor and hit those threes. So even against those lineups, he's still a really valuable player to have out there. And I feel like that's what happened in the second half of OKC. Did you notice that even though he got ran off the court in the first half, part of it was foul trouble, by the way. He got pushed out of foul trouble. But some bullshit fouls, too, by the way. It was some bad fouls. And that's partly why he was out in the first half. But second half, he was out there doing all the big runs. He was the prime guy out there with TT. It was Mozgov who was sitting. We had TT and Love, TT at the 5, Love at the 4. And Love was not a minus the way he was in the first half. Yeah. Even the threat of him. So what I'm getting at is I think what's important about Love and important about the way this team is constructed is that I feel like we have a really flexible team that can play almost any style. We don't necessarily play the best. We won't necessarily play each style the best. We're not going to be the best grinded out team. We're not going to be the best running gun team. We're not going to be the best pace and space team or whatever. We're not going to be the best athletic team. But we can match up against all those guys, and then it's an even draw. And then we have Kyrie and we have LeBron.
Right.
Love is the lowest of the three. He is. He's now obviously the lowest of the three. I'm okay with paying a max contract for that, given the flexibility he gives the lineup.
So what'll be interesting, Patty, is Christmas Day is the ultimate test of this, right? The Warriors are the ultimate test of that, and a test of, in my mind, how far that theory of yours goes, and what kind of coach Blatt is, right? Because he needs to be willing to make those adjustments and go to it. And it'll be fascinating to see if he's willing to sit not just Love, because he's shown that he's willing to sit Love in those spots, but is he willing to sit Love and TT, and do we roll out a lineup against the Warriors lineup of death with LeBron at the 5?
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Your call of LeBron at the 5, and then
some mix of Shump, Smith,
Kyrie,
and Delly.
I mean, that would be fascinating. That would be balls if he pulled that out at some point. They just said, you know what? Fuck you guys. LeBron at the center.
Why wouldn't you do that against that lineup?
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, what's also interesting, too, is I feel like you can also get – if they have other guys that can plug in to keep that lineup – there's some form of that lineup on the floor longer, then we want to keep all 5 of our guys out there. I'm still confident plugging in TT in a spot, Love in a spot. You lose defense on one, offense on the other, right? But – those are pretty athletic. I feel like Love can keep with. I don't know. Can he keep with Draymond?
He can sort of keep up with Draymond. I don't know that he can keep up with all the other stuff on switches that you'd have to do, which is where you like.
TT certainly could.
TT, you can. So he's playable, but it feels like those 6 to me with some mix of. I don't know. I mean, you could play Jefferson a little bit there. Mo can get in a little bit.
No. I wouldn't do that. I would keep it to those. I would keep it because what Love can do is then space it out in the offense and make it really deadly, right?
Right. Well, and
he can also punish on the post in a way that TT can't quite. And the second thing is there's a lot of guys in that lineup. Remind me what's the full lineup of death? It's Curry. It's Clay. It's Dre. It's
Barnes and Iguodala.
Barnes and Iguodala. Barnes, I feel like I'm happy with Love switching on to. Honestly, I'm not that worried about Barnes because what is Barnes going to post him up? Barnes could
drive right past him.
Past him probably, but Iguodala, can certainly drive past him. But that's the thing is all he has to do. The problem we did this with Mozgov. We put Mozgov on Iguodala. Remember last in the finals.
I remember. I think Iguodala was the finals MVP.
Yes, he was. But here's the problem. It wasn't Iguodala's driving, right? it was Iguodala hitting wide open 3-point shots.
Yes.
Love's a little bit quicker, that he can at least get within 3 feet of Iguodala and maybe not get blown past. This is a long shot. I don't think that he can keep up with these guys, but I think the results might be a little bit better than Mozgov and Iguodala. Is that fair? Love on Iguodala and Harrison Barnes will be better than
that's fair. I think
Mozgov.
It's important to note that that's the Warriors lineup of death does not play the whole game, right? They usually use that as a closer at the end at another point. So I think it's our willingness to adjust and match that aggressively, and then our ability to punish the other lineups they have with Kevin. That's where Kevin Love's got to come through. When Bogut's in the game, when Maurice Spates is in the game, I don't think they play Jason Thompson really. I haven't seen him in with them, but whenever their other backup bigs, Festus Ezeli, those guys, can he come in and do damage against them? Yeah. And if he's getting outplayed by those guys, I'm going to be freaking furious.
Yeah.
And I hope you can understand why.
Oh, certainly. I mean,
because that's where he's got to come through. I don't expect him to be able to hang with the lineup of death, right? That's an exceedingly unique thing in the history of the NBA. And I think the only thing that really lets us adjust to that, the thing that makes that work is that they have Draymond Green, right? Who can guard fives and do all this other stuff. We have LeBron James, who, while he has a different center of gravity than Draymond and is probably a little less robust in the post, I trust him in a pinch to do that. And I certainly trust him to do it against Draymond.
Also, I'm sorry. I haven't been watching the Warriors enough. Probably. I think Draymond posting up is we would fucking love.
No. They're not going to post him up. I just mean his post defense. That's where he's valuable as a lineup of depth because you can guard anybody else. He can guard a traditional five for those stretches. So teams that try to match them with their normal unit. Mm-hmm. If we were just continuing to roll Mozgov and Love and whoever else out there, he can handle those guys.
But that's what I think we're
decently enough. But that's what I mean. I don't want to. If they're going to that, I want to hit them with our best lineup, which I think can hang with those guys defensively. Has tons of shooting. Has freaking LeBron.
Here's what I think is going to end up happening, which you're going to see a lot of. I think you're going to see a lot of creative post ups with LeBron again, just like last time in the regular season in particular. You remember last season we did the post up with LeBron. We had it in the finals too. But the reason we went to the post up with LeBron was that because we knew we didn't want Kevin Love. Well, first of all, they weren't doing a lot of post-ups with Kevin Love anyways. But we knew that Draymond was not going to cover LeBron. And that meant LeBron had a favorable matchup on post-ups, right?
Yep.
And they had to pick their poison. If they want to switch out and put Draymond on LeBron, that then gives Kevin Love a really tasty matchup, or Mozgov, or whatever, a tasty matchup. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we use post-ups to set up the outside game. Because I saw us doing that. We had this one mismatch with LeBron. Like I think you might see a lot of LeBron in this game. One, he's super amped for it, and I think he's going to use that to start the offense. And we might. I'm really hoping for some. Actually, let me take a step back. I'm hoping for some creative plays that start with LeBron on the post and wind up with Kevin Love in the post somehow. Right? Yeah. Posting, switch out, double screens. However, this is the question, right? I remember when we played the Hawks. Hawks were so amped for us last year in the regular season. They ran us off the court, right? And I remember saying at the time, this seemed dumb of them. Yeah, they ran us off the court, but they basically showed their hand how they're going to play us on defense.
Yes.
That seems dumb. Why would you waste a potential, win steal in the playoffs by showing us that? The Warriors certainly aren't going to show us anything special. They're going to play their vanilla sets. They're going to play hard. They want to beat us, but I don't think they're going to bring out anything special. They're not going to unveil any grand plans.
No, I think they've unveiled what they can unveil. I don't know that they have another thing.
I don't know. I don't know enough about basketball to be able to say definitively.
Their big move was the small ball lineup they went to in the finals against us that they didn't know could work. That happened by chance for a lot of reasons, and now ends up just destroying the league. Right? I don't think they've got another button to push other than reversing course and going big or something. I agree with you, Pat. I mean, what you're saying is maybe we don't want to tip our hand.
Yeah. And
we're willing to throw this game in December. Not throw it, but not show all our cards because
use it.
Our response to the lineup of death might be something we want to hang on to for the potential finals match.
Use it as an exhibition match. You know what I mean? Use it as an exhibition match where you want to see us play really hard and really well, and whatever the outcome is, no big deal. And that's how I feel. Like, yes, as a fan, I want to see us fucking crush them because I fucking hate these guys. But I'd rather see us play well and lose a close one, particularly if we don't roll out any special surprises. That's sort of how I felt watching the OKC game. And this is what I was saying. Remember, I said last week I would have been happier watching us play good defense and play like good basketball and lose more games. I'd rather just be 500 and playing good basketball than with our record now and playing like shit, because it worries me about how we're going to play when it matters, right? Mm-hmm. But that's why I love the OKC game. We didn't have Shump. We didn't have Kyrie. And, our perimeter defense against...
Didn't have Mo, Patty.
We didn't have, well, I was talking about defense, Matty, so I didn't throw Mo in there for that reason. But no, yeah, from offense perspective, we didn't have Mo. And we didn't have a lot of minutes to spell Delhi except with Cunningham. And I was really impressed with how hard we played them on defense. In particular, because they were crushing us. I mean, not crushing. They were playing really good offense, but it was all on the worst shot in basketball. Long twos.
Yeah. Which
is not something that Russell Westbrook is really great at necessarily. But he was hitting it that night. So they were all hitting these deep twos, contested twos, and that was their whole offense. I was like, you know what? Tip your cap. Fine. You guys win. That's great. We did our plan. You guys happen to hit the shots, but this was good defense.
Yeah. They are starting to show that they're rounding a little bit into that defensive form. Yeah. I'm sure Mozzie's got something to do with that. Shump being back, although that's not what happened in OKC, but that helps.
I've been saying for a long time, I think Moz got kind of the key to this defense. Certainly for the stretches he's in there. We have other lines we can throw at people, but we need Mozgov in there to be crushing in that first quarter, and the second half. He's an important steadying force and the kind of weapon you have at any time to be that guy who just goes straight up and it makes it really hard to make a fucking basket at the rim. Yeah. He's our failsafe. So I don't want to see us reveal too much. I want to see us play really good defense. I don't want to see us get blown off the court. That would make, as long as it's close and tight and we play good defense on the most unstoppable offense in the NBA, I will feel pretty happy about this. My greatest fear is that we get blown off the court and it's embarrassing.
Right. Which is possible. Possible.
Now, Maddie, we haven't talked about Kyrie coming back. How do you feel about Kyrie?
I like that they're taking it slow with him. I think that's appropriate. I thought he looked pretty freaking good, man.
Yeah, I mean, he was rusty starting off, obviously.
He's missing the shots around the rim, but he was getting to the rim whenever he wanted. He got open on 1 3-pointer with just some nasty shake moves, man. I love Kyrie.
And he was playing. I mean, he's playing against the fucking Sixers, but he was playing good, solid D in terms of keeping guys in front of him. The hustle was there. His head's in it. I feel very positive about him. He took a couple of hits. He didn't seem shy about going to the basket.
No, not at all.
Which makes me nervous every time he falls.
Especially because in the offseason he was saying he was going to attack a little bit less, I think.
But that didn't seem to happen, which is good that he didn't happen, I guess. Because that's his game. It's going to,
I'll tell you the other thing that's exciting, Pat, is the jump that Delhi has taken this year.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think we've seen enough now to start to say that this is real.
Yeah, no, I said last
year. Do you know he's shooting a better percentage from 3-point than Mr. Steph Curry?
I was just about to say. I saw that stat on catch and shoot threes, and it's not on threes entirely, right? It's catch and shoot threes. I
think it's overall 3-point percentage is higher now too after the other day.
Well, Curry's been cooling off for the past 2 or 3 weeks, so people have been talking about the crazy records. Right. It is unavoidable. It is your destiny. It is pointless to resist, my son. Steph Curry will always hit 1,000,000 threes. It's anyway, sorry. This is my anger coming out.
Delhi has been excellent and playing himself into some money next year.
Oh, I'll big time. I don't know if we're gonna be able to afford him.
We'll. I think we're gonna keep him.
Probably. It's nice that he's restricted again. That's very helpful.
And he is.
He's. I mean, first of all, we said this last year. I kept pointing out early when we were saying, who can you leave open? Who can you not bother guarding? Yada yada yada. And we said, Harrison Barnes. I was right about that. I was wrong about Iguodala. I kept saying that they couldn't leave Delhi open because for 2 years straight he's been hitting 40% from three, 40%. These Kyrie hit 40% one time. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I was shocked. I went back to look at Kyrie's numbers versus Steph's, in their first mutual 4 years in the league, and they're all very close actually, even on assists. Honestly, which surprised me because I always associated Steph with higher assist numbers, but his big assist numbers came in the 5th year, and a big jump there. The big difference was Steph was always hitting like 43, and Kyrie was more around 39, which is very good. But it's not like, boss numbers. Part of that was, the bad teams he was playing on, and it's no surprise he hit 40% with the Cavs last year.
Right.
I just feel like Kyrie's a better shooter than this. He's not as good as Steph. No one's good as Steph, but Kyrie is going to be. I think his baseline used to be 40, and I expect it to be. I want him to shoot more, even though he's not as good a shooter as Steph. I want him to be taking a ton of threes a game. Am I crazy with that?
No.
He's the one guy who should be shooting this shit with him. I don't want LeBron taking that many.
Not at all. And there's a whole bunch of offense that we can run that's just about LeBron in the post and running Kyrie off screens to get open.
Yeah. Having Kyrie and Love running around catch passes for threes, even though Love's not hitting. He's only hit like 40. Actually, I think Love's hit 40% more often than Kyrie, right?
In
twice?
his career, yes.
Yeah, twice, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. So, and also having to pair Kyrie with then Delly, who's really hitting three, or Mo. I mean, that's a lot of 3-point shooters around LeBron. That's fucking great. So we got it. These are better shooters, frankly, percentage wise, than a lot of the guys that, I'm not Steph and Clay, obviously, but there's just more of them. And I feel like that can really be an equalizer. So, all right, I feel like have we covered the game? What are your predictions? How do you feel?
God, I have a hard time separating what I want from what I think will happen. I don't think we get blown out. I think we're going to be freaking amped up for this one. I think I think it's a close game, and I don't know what I guess I predict we lose because it's out here versus in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. But I think a close one. Do you remember? I think it was LeBron's last year, first time around. We had a Christmas Day game against the Lakers.
Yes.
We were super amped up for it, and we just took it to them.
Yeah. That was fucking great.
That's what I want.
Oh, that's totally what I want. The problem is the Cavs are a better team than that Cavs team. The Warriors are a way better team than that Lakers team.
I know.
But yeah, no, I hear you. That's totally what I want. But
I'll say my real prediction is Warriors by, I don't know, 5.
Yeah, I feel like
a 103-98 kind of game.
Yeah, that I'd be ecstatic with that. I feel like it was just a crazy thing to say, but honestly, no, it's a regular. Don't forget, it's a regular season game. The Warriors are really fucking good. Like, if this was any other team, I would be like, I really want us to fucking win this game, period. Just on force of strength alone. But this is a historically great team. I want us to show, without showing our hand, I want us to show we can hang on the basics.
Yep.
I don't need us to win. I want us to show we can fucking hang. And it's like, you guys are being a fucking dogfight. Now, everyone's going to say, oh, you had all your guys back. You had Kyrie, you had Love, you still fucking lost. No, fuck that. Regular season doesn't give a shit. Doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. We cleaned your clocks in the regular season. We blew you out by double digits.
That we know.
In the regular season with all 3 of our guys. So suck a dick.
What I really want to see is Love being effective.
Yes. TT.
I don't need him to be perfect, but I need him to be effective, and I need TT to play against them like we played in the finals. So you can do that. Absolutely.
You need Mozgov to do what he's doing. And I need to see a lot of ball movement. Because the thing is, the Warriors, man, even when they're playing poorly, against the Celtics, man, they just move the ball so fucking well. Every single one of those guys knows how to pass. They aren't like excessive like passing just for the sake of passing.
Right.
They have the Spurs level passing, right? The Spurs gas and passing. So I want to see us pass the ball like they can. I want to see us defend at a fucking high level, harass them. I want them to look bothered.
Yeah.
I want them to look nervous. And I don't care what the outcome. I just for those things I want to see. I want to see us play balls out on defense. I want to see us make them worry. I want to see us make them sweat. And I want to see us pass the ball like I know we're capable of passing the ball against a really tough defense, obviously. That's what I'm looking for out of this Cavs team. And we'll see. Let the chips fall where they may.
Yes. Patty, before we go to our big finish, I think we should also touch on the fact that Amon Shepard delivered his baby in the bathtub
Jesus, that's right.
and used his Beats by Dre headphone
cord
to tie the umbilical.
That's amazing. Oh, my God. And I love how he used an excuse for his bad shooting in his first game back. He was like, I couldn't get into a gym, guys. It was that's why my shooting wasn't good, because I was busy delivering life and salvaging it with fucking Beats by Dre headphones. I should use that excuse.
That was incredible. That's one of the crazier stories I've ever heard.
That's nuts.
Pat, you got two kids. Can you imagine delivering one in your bathtub?
Jesus Christ, no. We talked about this, like, you saw, you go to those, like, birthing classes, and you see the videos and the fucking crazy ass women that try and deliver babies into like bathing pools.
Yep.
Just what the fuck, man? Just go to a fucking hospital, man. So much shit can go wrong. Childbirth in the real environment has a high death rate. Just
extremely high.
Hospital. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's also, this must be an enraging story too for women who went through 30 hours of labor, like my beautiful wife. I mean, Jesus, 30 hours of labor. That was like what, 20 minutes?
Seriously.
I mean, they're like, oh, I think I'm fully in labor. Let me call the ambulance. Oh, it's coming out. So that was the story.
So crazy. The other quick note about Shumpert before we go to the finish is, he's got 90 shaved in the back of his head.
Yep, that's the year he's born.
I know.
Jesus.
My mom was asking me that, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, 90. No, he couldn't have been born then. He's playing in the NBA. And then I was like, oh no, I'm so old.
Jesus Christ, it's so bad. Oh, by the way, speaking of your mom, I saw your mom and your sister at the my family's McMillan holiday Christmas party in Cleveland.
I heard.
Weekend. Sorry you couldn't make it. I brought up our dispute, by the way, with them, and they totally agree with me that you were really prone to despair. Like when I mentioned that, I was like, "That's just so prone to despair." They were just like, "Oh God, yes." Like it was something that's in your family, that you have this tendency, this dark side tendency to just.
Yeah, I've been paying attention for the last 36 years.
Oh, that's depressing. Oh, speaking of which, this is a good segue then into our big finish. All right, so I saw Star Wars this weekend with my son Arthur, who's 4 years old, as many people know. He's also a huge fan of the dark side. He's a huge fan of the bad guys, stormtroopers, Darth Vader, because the costumes. Like, he loves their outfits. That's what he cares about. He liked the clone troopers too, but the clone troopers in the prequels, which are terrible, were the good guys. So he didn't mind that they were good guys. It's that, so anyway. Point being, end of the movie, he's crying. And it's, again, spoiler alert to the nth degree if you still haven't seen it and you're still listening and you don't want to hear any spoilers about the new Star Wars film, stop listening. Just turn this off now. Stop it. Turn it off. I think I've done enough spoiler alert. Right.
That's enough.
All right. So at the end of the movie, he's crying. And I'm convinced he's crying because Han Solo dies. And I fucking cried 4 times in this movie, which is embarrassing, but not that embarrassing. I cried during Michael Collins. I've cried during six Pixar movies, so it's not.
That's true. This is not news.
I am a world-renowned pussy when it comes to movies. I get choked up over anything. I even fucking cried during Independence Day. The movie.
Oh God, that's right.
The third time.
I forgot about that.
Not the first time, not the second time. The third time I saw it, I chalked this up to me being sick with 100-degree fever and being doped up on Tylenol. So, but it is what it is. I did cry in that movie.
Whatever lets you sleep at night, buddy.
The first lady died. Her children. It was terrible. It was a sad moment. I got upset. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I cried when Han Solo died, and it was terrible, and I had feelings about that. I thought for sure Arthur was crying. He's crying over Han Solo. I said, Arthur, why are you crying? You sure? He's like, no, it's the bad guys lost. I was like, what? The stormtroopers lost. And it just keeps crying. And I'm like, I'm holding him. I should have known this because Arthur literally went to the movie in a stormtrooper costume. I dressed up in a stormtrooper costume, stormtrooper mask. He had a stormtrooper gear. He was so excited with the stormtroopers and the bad guys and the chrome trooper and everything. Captain Phasma. And he was crying because the bad guys lost. And then I kept talking to him about it on the drive home. And eventually he just said to me, he's like, Daddy, why do the bad guys always lose? And I didn't have a good answer for him. But I kept thinking to myself, I was like, oh, God, like, this is what I've done to him by making him a Cleveland sports fan.
Yeah.
He's gonna ask this question to me, and I don't know how many years. Right now, he's still kind of like, not fully grokking emotionally the Cleveland sports fandom, but he's gonna ask you at some point, why do the Browns? Why does Cleveland always lose? And I'm not gonna be able to tell him anything.
Pat, what in specific at the end of that movie bothered him? Because they didn't really lose; they just didn't win.
Yeah, I think the planet blowing up and a lot of the stormtroopers dying, and I think honestly he was just exhausted. He didn't have.
But does the planet blow? The Death Planet doesn't blow up though. It just
it turns into a star. I didn't get that. That was the worst part of the movie.
Does it explode? I didn't feel like it exploded. I thought it just didn't fire.
It turned into a hot ball, didn't it? A big hot flaming ball. It looked like a mini planet-sized star. It was weird.
You think all those people are dead that were on it?
Oh yeah, the whole planet was self-destructing. The whole planet was disintegrated. Like that's why the Earth was falling.
Oh, you're right, because it's the same. They blew up the Death Star again. That's right. It upset me when I watched it because I was like, this again. Yeah, no, exactly. It was. It also didn't make sense to me. I think Neil deGrasse Tyson had some fruitless tweets about the science of Star Wars. Like Neil, I agree with you. But the science. I don't care about the science.
Star Wars has never been about the science. Star Wars has been always miscast as sci-fi. It's fantasy. It's fantasy with a space environment. Just let it go. It's hard. It bugged me because I know enough about astronomy to know that the whole concept of that weapon made no fucking sense. It just looked really fucking cool, and that's all I did. I went with that.
So that's as far as you need to take it. I'm just upset that they ran through the same plot device that they've used 2 times before.
And it was totally unnecessary. There was so much
happening. They can't come up with anything new? A new weapon?
They didn't need a new weapon. They didn't need it. They just needed, a rescue mission would have been enough. Honestly, think about it. It's just rescuing Rey or whatever, or recapturing some, the map that they took from Luke, of Luke's. But that was enough. They didn't have to have a huge Death Star apparatus. There was so much going on, so much emotion. Adding the Death Star thing added a layer of suspense that was not needed, and it cheapened it. I feel like I would have been less upset by, to be clear, I was happy with it. I was happy. To me, it was better than the prequels. That's all I asked of it. That's all I wanted to be, was better than the prequels. It was way better than the prequels. It was just shy of being as good as the original trilogy. And I hold out hope. This gives me real, genuine, I think, realistic hope that they can certainly hit that note at some point in the next 2 movies or more that they make.
Yeah, so the argument I heard for that is that it set it up adequately to do whatever. Like, it was sort of a total reset on the series, a palate cleanse from the prequels. And while it was perhaps a retread of a lot of Star Wars material, that's okay, because now it leaves them in a place where the next films can go wherever they need to go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the new characters are so great. Even if the rest of the original cast never appeared again, I'd be happy and would eagerly rush to watch these movies. But I'm happy that, minus Han Solo, sadly, we'll still get Luke Skywalker. We're going to get a lot of him in the next movie. We'll get.
It seems like he's got to be one of the main characters, right?
Yeah, exactly. Chewbacca is going to be in there. Chewie was fucking great in this one.
Yeah, he was used very well.
You had issues with Han Solo.
It's just sort of sad seeing him old.
Yeah, I guess. Look, I mean, to me, it was nothing. It was Harrison Ford as old Han Solo was vastly better than Harrison Ford as old Indiana Jones, which never actually happened, I think. There was a rumored 4th movie that was made that I'm pretty sure.
It's funny, Pat? I actually have it on in the background right now. I swear to you. I swear to you.
No, I'm pretty sure that movie was never made.
I'm watching him and Shia LaBeouf.
No.
Right at this moment.
See, that's how I know you're fucking with me.
It's on the Sci-Fi Channel.
No, that never happened. That movie never happened. That's not a real thing. Shia LaBeouf, seriously. Shia LaBeouf in an Indiana Jones movie, this is how I know you're lying. but he was. I mean, aside from the goddamn Harrison Ford growl, which is funny. If I read some of the articles, and like I think J.J. Abrams talked about this. Like it was clear that J.J. Abrams tried to talk him out of this, the fucking Harrison Ford growl, and Harrison Ford kind of like, "Fuck you, I'm Harrison Ford. You're lucky I'm doing this goddamn movie." But it didn't bother him so much. He didn't do it a ton, and because it was delivered he had the right kind of cadence, and he did the right Han Solo lines, and to me, he was Han Solo again. He was an old, cranky, roguish Han Solo, and it fixed what was wrong with the Return of the Jedi, where he kind of got domesticated a little bit, at the end of Return of the Jedi, and now he was back to his smuggling ways, and he had the best lines in the movie. Move ball. Oh, you're cold. To Chewie. It's great. It was all very.
I agree they used him well. I just don't think that you can keep using him like he can't get out and be his old self again. That's not going to happen. They got about as much out of him as they could in this one, and I think rather than trying to go back to that well and failing as they would moving forward, I think they're better served with sending him off the way they did.
Agreed. And what's great about this is that they're putting guys in the right roles, right? One being, if Han Solo is going to be there, Han Solo has to do Han Solo things. We need Finn to be doing the Han Solo things, because Finn, like Han Solo, tries to do great things and constantly screws up, right? That's what's great about Finn's character. He's funny, he's charismatic, he's happy to lie. There's that great line of like, and my advice, they always find out.
Yeah,
something like that. There was a good passing of the torch, I think, to Finn, and that's the point. Is that Han Solo can't stay around if we're gonna give full life to the new characters. However, Luke can certainly stay around because he's sliding nicely into the Obi-Wan role. Chewie can keep his old role. R2 and C-3PO certainly have room for BB-8, who is fucking awesome. And I mean, that was BB-8 was fantastic.
You saw who did the voices for that, right?
For what, BB-8?
Yeah,
he had a voice.
Yeah, there was. I read about this afterwards. There was it was in the credits. It's credited as I can't remember exactly what they called it because it's not voiced by, but it's like voice work by. It was Bill Hader and
that's
the guy who plays. I'm forgetting his name. It's Schwartz, I think, is his last name, or Schwartzman. No. The guy that plays John Ralphio on Parks and Rec.
Oh, get the fuck out!
Yeah, Ben Schwartz. I think Ben Schwartz is his name.
Yeah, that guy.
So those two guys came in and apparently recorded stuff, and they went and futzed around with it and converted it into the little bleeps and blorps of that of BB-8. But you're right. That was very well done.
A great character. The quick dialogue between Finn and BB-8, since Finn can't understand what BB-8 is saying, but BB-8 using a Bic lighter. Because the way it's great.
Yeah, that exchange was excellent.
And particularly, he's just like the best part of the droids. They're always like little pets, right? And it is that moment where BB-8 sees Poe Dameron again, his master, and rolls so fast, knocks Finn out of the way to rush back up to his master. It was that was fucking cute. Well done.
No, they had all those beats.
Yeah,
I think you did about as well as you could.
Yeah, no, exactly. I said I had plenty of issues. I didn't have any problem with the recalling the old plot with the droid having the secret plans. It was a nice throwback nod. I was fine with that, but then adding the Death Planet on top of it, that was just too much. And as I said, at the end of the day, it was totally unnecessary. It was totally untied to the droid plans. It's distracted.
No,
from
one had nothing to do with the other.
The Luke storyline should have been the main one, so that was dumb.
Do you Pat, do you feel that Finn is force sensitive? I believe is the PC term they use now.
There's a PC term for it?
I don't know. I've seen force sensitive in some of the literature.
I don't know if it's PC sensitive. I think it's just the term for it. Or strong with the force is another way you can put it.
Now, strong implies that somebody else is weak. It's more force sensitive.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't think so. I'd be disappointed if he was. I think the whole reason, the whole positioning him with the lightsaber was just misdirection to distract us from the idea that Rey was going to be the one in the final lightsaber battle. I was more bothered with how quickly Rey was able to pick up the Force stuff. That just didn't mesh with my understanding of the Star Wars universe, what was possible. And that always bugs me when you break the rules. You know,
right, unless she's extremely special, Pat.
Right, which is what they're hinting at, obviously, and presumably she is. And it's kind of like tough, like, you know, Kylo Ren then gets punked out. It's this great character you build up who is exactly what Anakin Skywalker should have been in the prequels. You know, whiny, conflicted, but super sinister, terrifying, you know. But, you know, he's a really good, sinister guy, super powerful. We've never seen anyone stop a laser blast like freezes it.
That was pretty awesome.
That was awesome. I mean, even Darth Vader did that. Darth Vader like let them. I guess it's more. Is it more badass to freeze a blaster, or let it blink off your palms? I guess blinking off your palms is a little more badass.
I don't know. Freezing was pretty awesome.
That showed a pretty high level of control. Anyway, but so he was a great character, and the fact that he's got training to complete tells you that. And he is wounded by Chewie, which I was happy about. Chewie got a shot in on Kylo Ren after he killed his father. You know, I thought that was all set up really well. I have a feeling, as I was saying to you, that Kylo Ren's going to be like a motherfucking monster in the next one.
He's got to be, right?
He's going to just be terrifying and crush. And if they follow the kind of rhythm of Empire Strikes Back, I think it's going to be an upsetting ending to the next movie. I'm wondering.
Which means what? Luke dies?
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's going to kill Luke. I think he's going to kill Luke. I mean, but can he kill Han Solo and fucking Luke? Maybe it's too obvious that Luke's going to die. I don't know. I think certainly Mark Hamill would like that. I think Mark Hamill's not happy about having to have that grow that fucking beard.
Why are these guys Why are they so unhappy about getting back into this movie?
No, I think Mark's excited about it. He's not excited about the beard.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. Mostly he's been complaining about the beard. He's never had a beard in his life. It itches. He fucking hates it.
Oh, fucking grow up, man!
As soon as they stopped filming and he had time off, he'd shave that beard off. You know, he's like, oh god. Anyway, but yeah. So he's going to be a big part of the next one, certainly. Or maybe he won't fight at all. Maybe he'll play the the Yoda role in the original movies and just be the, you know.
Well, the next one's got to be his reluctance to train Rey, right?
Yes, exactly, because of what happened last time. But he's Rey,
and you do not think Rey is his daughter, even though that was very strongly intimated.
Yes, this is my big spoiler call. Is I think she's Obi-Wan's daughter. Oh, sorry, Obi-Wan's granddaughter, for several reasons. One, she has an English accent, which is significant because John Boyega has an English accent, but Finn does not. They made a point to give him an American accent. So the English accent was a choice from Daisy Ridley.
Okay.
Two, I think it's significant that they named Kylo Ren Ben. Ben Solo is his given name. Named after Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think that's significant. Three, I think it's they never confirmed. Like, they had plenty of opportunities to. When she came up to Leia and got a hug. When she saw Luke Skywalker. I was expecting her to say father before we wrapped, right? Did you kind of have that feeling that she was going to say something like, father, like have that confirmed and then end the movie?
No, I thought they'd save it.
Okay. But they're hinting so strongly at it. To me, it's like you're losing all the dramatic punch of revealing that she's Luke's daughter. It's going to be like, oh, of course, yeah. It's going to be such a...
Right, so it's almost like they need that misdirect in order to get
right, to me it's another
else.
Misdirection the way they did with John Boyega with Finn's character. I think it's another misdirect, and that's why I think it's Obi-Wan's daughter. And it also makes sense because the storylines, right? Obi-Wan trained Anakin, and Anakin became Darth Vader. So he failed, Anakin became Darth Vader, and then Darth Vader killed Obi-Wan. Luke Skywalker trains Ben Solo, Han's son. Ben Solo becomes
evil.
Kylo Ren, evil Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren kills his father, Han. Maybe he'll kill Luke too. I don't know. We'll see. It would make sense for so the story this whole story kind of begins with Ben's failure, with Obi-Wan's failure, right? If the original Star Wars trilogy was about Luke redeeming his father, then the whole 9 episode story arc, if we limit ourselves to 9 episodes, could be about Obi-Wan's granddaughter redeeming her grandfather's failure, which lost the whole thing. So there's some poeticism there. There's another theory that Obi-Wan had a daughter, and then had a bastard daughter, who then so basically that Rey is the daughter of that woman, but that Luke is also her father. Luke actually
slept with Ben's daughter.
Yeah. That's another theory that's going around. Not going around. It's a theory that I have with my Star Wars friend, who's a bigger nerd than I am about Star Wars. So that's the other thing.
What's up with the dude that had the map of where Luke was that Max von Sydow played?
Yeah, it was kind of a throwaway.
I guess we're going to find that out in the next one, right? Something got revealed about him.
I don't know. Maybe he was a throwaway character. He was sort of.
Oh, because he's dead. He gets killed, right?
He's dead. Yeah, he's done. He gets killed by Kylo Ren.
That's right.
I think it was just a high-profile, cameo for an important.
Well, I guess a lot of this stuff is gonna. There's.
That's what's so great about this. There's so much more to reveal, right? There's so much we don't know.
And there's all these other movies that they're doing that are not the trilogy that are
Rogue
get
One,
into some of that stuff, right? Yeah. Like there's rumors today that there's going to be a Yoda origin movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, we already know
there's supposed to be the Han Solo. There is going to be a Han Solo movie.
Yeah. Well, first up is Rogue One, which is I think this is the Ocean's 11 style story.
How they got the plans to the Death Star.
Which is a great fucking concept.
Yep.
What's interesting is that the same screenwriter, Lawrence Kasdan, and his son are writing the Han Solo origin story, which will be good since no one wrote Han Solo better than Lawrence Kasdan. So that's exciting. And then I don't know what else they're going to be. But there's also there's novels, right? I'm never sure whether it should be the novels that they've already published that cover the period between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, because one reveal some of the stuff we don't know about. Like we don't know about how Rey got left behind that planet, who her parents are. We don't know anything about Finn's upbringing aside from what they revealed a little bit, and that was cool. That was a really cool thing they sort of like let go.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear that Stormtroopers are also much more badass and mean as shit in this one than they were in the previous ones. They are much more murderous. They're better shots.
Yeah.
Like they're much more capable, clearly, than they were in the last one. It seems like they're the Clone War. The Clone Troopers were like the best of the best, right? Because it was like you took one guy who was fucking awesome, and you took LeBron James and cloned him, right? So of course they were fucking awesome. The Stormtroopers sucked because they didn't have the money to do the Clone Troopers anymore, I guess, right? They were just recruiting from throughout the galaxy. And it seems like now what they're doing is they're getting kids while they're young.
And then training them almost like the
brainwash them, right? Yeah, and so it's like they're not quite clone level because they mentioned the possibility of cloning in the first 20 minutes.
Oh, I think Kylo Ren was upset that he didn't have clones because somebody didn't do what he wanted. Yeah,
right. And General Gox, by the way, Donald Gleason was fucking great as the Hitler-esque guy. I love that dynamic. And so there's clearly there's a step above here, which is a really nice. That was a really good way to pay forward that story arc of the Stormtroopers. Anyway, Maddie, I've taken you past your deadline, and I think I've taken past my self-imposed deadline. I was so close. We're so close, Maddie. But then Star Wars got in the way. Come on.
You get a pass on Star Wars.
Come on.
You're not responsible.
We moved into the Star Wars stuff before the 50-minute mark, so that was pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I agree. You get a pass.
Anyway, so the Star Wars stuff was an extra treat for anyone that gives a shit about us talking about Star Wars, but there is that. So anything else to add, Maddie, before we go about the Cavs, Warriors, Star Wars?
No, let's take care of the Knicks tomorrow night. Yes. Nobody gets hurt.
Nothing to add. No one gets hurt. Let's not get Let's not have a disheartening performance.
No, I don't need a letdown performance against the fucking Knicks before the big game, and then let's keep our fingers crossed that my flights go on time so I can be home safely in Cleveland to watch the game. If I'm flying while this game happens, Pat, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Oh man, I hope you're at least flying like JetBlue or something. No. Can't watch the game.
Terrible United Airlines.
Does United Airlines have Wi-Fi?
Bad Wi-Fi. Yes, they do.
Find out, because worst case scenario, if it's delayed, I'll give you my password and see if you can watch it.
Okay.
On no, you have League Pass. You don't have to. Well,
I just think streaming in those situations tends to be a little.
What on a flying at 747?
Yes.
It has to be in the air. Why
coach.
Alrighty, so that does it for the Cleveland Sports Hour. Until next time, this is Maddie and Patty saying. Chip. All right. Good night, Maddie.